Hello, this is a short video to demonstrate how you too can color in your Tabletop Simulator ships to make them beautiful and elegant like all of these. So let's start by going over here, spawn in your ships using the spawner tool, and in today's demonstration we're going to take the Alpha Squadron pilot and try and make it look like the amazing soon-to-furl. So start by spawning your ship, right click on the ship, click on custom, and there's all these different fields. The fields you want is diffuse/image. Select here, Control C, and navigate to your browser. Here's one I prepared earlier, which is exactly the same one. You may occasionally, the first time you're doing this, see verify cache written there. If you see that, just delete it. It will not help you. Okay, let's copy the image into your favorite image editing tool. For me, it's GIMP because it's free. Unfortunately, GIMP does have a problem where it doesn't work with Camtasia, which is this software I'm using to record the screen right now. So, I have a restriction in place, and that restriction is I cannot adjust layer height. If you know what layers are, then you'll be upset for me, but for everyone else, just follow along. Okay, so we're going to start by pasting this image into GIMP. So far, so good. The very first thing you should do is take a copy of the whole image, Control C, Control V, and promote to a new layer. So that way, if we make any serious mistakes, you can always go back to the original and take that copy there. So let's see, all we have to do really is add some red stripes to the ship here and maybe do some cool stuff to the metallic colors. So let's start with the red stripes. So first of all, let's create another new layer. This is the layer we're going to use to put our markings on. So in addition to the red stripe, strictly speaking, we should be putting a cool Imperial logo on. Because even though this is the 181st Squadron, I'm going to do the Steelwing Special, which is the local Wollongong colour scheme that I made up for my squadron. And seeing as it's my video, I'm going to inflict it on you. Okay, so first of all, we want to use the rectangle select tool to designate an area you want the paint to go. I'm going to reduce the opacity of this layer to about 50% so I can see through it, and that will allow me to see where I can crop the paint away. So we can be pretty generous because the models are quite small and it's quite forgiving to make mistakes. Much of the paint effect will actually get anti-aliased and squished away, so we'll just approximate as close enough. But if your approximation is perfect, that helps a lot too. Okay, so far so good. So, in this case, I'll take a copy of this red stripe to new layer, and we're going to copy that over to this other wingedy bit. Okay, so transform, layer, transform, rotate 90 degrees clockwise. Should be about there. No, where is it? Error. Where did it go? That went into space. Control Z, I can see it's there. Did I get left and right back to front? That can happen. That's why I'm terrible at X-Wing. Layer, transform, rotate. Clockwise means it's going to be on the left. Yes, there it is. I don't know why it didn't work before. But that's okay. Alright, so you can use in GIMP the control and mouse wheel to scroll in and out very quickly, and I'll make use of that a lot. Okay, so let's put this bound approximately where I want it to be. But if you make it approximately perfect, that helps. Looks good, cool. Alright, we're going to merge down, right click merge down. So now these two red stripes are the same layer. Now you might have immediately noticed that's a different color. Correct, that's because I forgot to set the opacity before I did that. So it's Control Z, until the two layers again. Great, put that back to 100. Now they're the same, now I can merge down. Hooray, and now I can turn that layer on and off. Which will allow me to do various tricks. So, let's see. Let's have a look at the original picture we're trying to copy from, shall we? So, the main difference here is that this red paint job's gone over the steel. I find that actually looks pretty crap, so we're not going to do that. But you can see there's like bullet holes and streaks and all kinds of stuff, but it is one kind of boring color. I think we can do better. So, let's go back to these ones over here. Whoop. You can see that on my red stripes here, there's actually some shading here to give the illusion of 3D, or that the shadows changing the way the light's going. And we've got my own bullet holes and mud streaks and splatters and stuff, and different squad markings, all kinds of cool stuff. You know, at your leisure you can add your own things. So let's start by making this red look a little more realistic. So first of all, take a copy of your work and always work on the copy. We're going to hide the original so that if I can make changes to this and I will see what I'm doing, and also so that if I completely screw this up, I can at least recover my original and do some more work to it. Okay, so let's start by trying to make it a bit darker. So let's get the select everything tool. We're going to select just the red. This just to explain why I'm doing this. If I want to paint this red a little bit darker, and I'm trying to use a spray paint tool, we can see that it's going all over the black, which is undesirable. If I select what I'm working with first, you can use shift to select multiple areas. Now when I do the spray paint, still on the select tool, I knew something was wrong. Now I do the spray paint, it won't go out. I somehow selected everything but the thing I wanted to work on. Okay, this time for sure. There we go. Alright, so now you can see I can paint out here and I'm not going to go anywhere. Alright, so let's start by painting the edges here to make it look a bit 3D. So what we're doing here is doing fake shadows. And strictly speaking, it should be parallel to the actual metal object out there. Here comes the new file. Alright, that's part 1 done. Okay, now then, we should have just a touch brighter. We're going to try and paint this middle section here to make it look that it's brighter, because more light is going to that area, so we need to use a brighter brush. But if we just use this straight away, it may look a bit silly. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the opacity of this brush by a little bit. Your mileage may vary, about there probably is going to be good enough. Okay, and we don't want to do too much, because it'll ruin the if it's too bright, it will clash too obviously with the next color, the darker one. We're going to use another tool in a moment to smudge that around a bit so that it's less obvious. And I use the airbrush rather than the paintbrush, because the paintbrush gives a solid color like so, or more solid than the airbrush, and the airbrush is a bit more subtle. Okay, so we've got the blur or smudge tools. They both have their uses. In this case we're going to use the smudge tool, and we use the smudge tool to gently try and make this a little more, what's the word, well, making it more blendy, I guess. I don't know, I just made a new word. And in doing so, we are trying to make this edge more clear, and at the same time make the difference in color here less clear, so that we can fool the eye of the beholder rather, into not looking too closely and seeing the obvious terrible things about it, but also because it gives the more realistic it looks, the more you and your opponent will believe that this is not just a common or garden variety tie interceptor, but is in fact one of the deadly 181st / Steel Wing pilots, and you want to have the appropriate amount of fear and respect in your opponent's eyes, so that when they see you, they honorably joust while you sneakily ace around the back, because that is the way. Alright, so that's probably good enough. The next thing to do is get the eraser tool, and we're going to get one of these funky brushes down here. Let's see, let's go with the random there. Okay, and what this is going to do is put a hole in our stuff, and the more you click it, the more you get. But that is probably not ideal, because I want to have a bit more. Let's go with, what is that? Okay, let's make the brush a bit bigger. That's probably a bit excessive. Now, the overall style looks good, it's just too big. Let's make it a lot bigger. Alright, that's probably not the desired effect. Control Z. Let's go with one of these other brushes. Oh, that one looks kind of cool. What do we got? Again, too big. Alright, let's drop the size down. Chalk. Getting there. You know what, I think I can probably work with that. Okay, so another thing we do is we're going to reduce the opacity of the eraser. So when we do click on it, you can see only half of it goes away rather than the full chunk taken out of it. If we drop the opacity right down, we can do cool effects, where I click multiple times and it slowly wears away at the paint. We can do that across the whole red to make it have the illusion that there's the entire solar panels is actually disturbing the paint a little bit. And if you had enough time, probably you can make that look more realistic than I've done. But this is a quick demo. Okay, so last of all, we get the eraser and we get the circle tool, and we'll shrink down the size a lot. And we're going to try and put some marks into the paint to make it look like it's been damaged. Be a bit generous with this. If you do too much, it will look silly. But also you want to make sure that there's a nice clean edge. Otherwise it will just, I don't know, doesn't look as good. Okay. So this as much as you want. As much as, you know, I'm no artist. You probably can have your own style. I have also got ones that are completely shot up. And depending on the kind of tricks, actually there wouldn't be a shot there because you'd see the steel get damaged. So let's put that back. Alright, so kind of it's up to you. You might want to tell a story about your spaceship and okay, this one here was perfect. It's brand new out of the factory. Has never seen battle, hasn't got a scratch. Okay, that's cool. That's plausible. Or, you know, it's just got away with the nick of its life, so it's got a lot more battle damage. It's just a bit of fun, and we like fun. Okay, so let's leave it at that for now. So now if I remove the box select tool, you can see that's how it's going to look. Okay, so let's just quickly see how that looks. We're going to go File, Export As, and I've got a directory called Painting on my desktop, which makes it very helpful to find where my stuff is. On my desktop. There we go. Alright, let's hopefully name this 01 to make it easy for me to find. Export. Yes, it already exists. Okay, before I hit export, make sure you've got it as PNG format. Otherwise you're going to have it's just a very helpful thing to use. JPEG will give you blurred pixels, which you don't really want. PNG is just the optimal format in my view. Okay, so we're going to apply the texture. Right click, custom. We're going to use this browse local files button to go find the file that I made earlier, which we called 01. There it is. Select. Now, when you're doing your tests to see if the paint is working like you want, you're going to click local. When you've got your final ones done, we'll click cloud. I'll demonstrate why in a moment. Let's start with local. Hooray! Okay, so we'll click. So far so good. If you want to do other weird stuff like change the material to glass or steel, you can. But that's outside scope. Then we click import. Okay, look at that. Isn't it beautiful? It's amazing. Okay, so if you had more time, you could do stuff like change the color of the glass. I'll do a quick effect on the steel to show you how to make it look a bit more interesting. And we'll add a Imperial Cog logo right there to make it look like the Squadrons version. Now you note that on the picture here we only have 2 panels to work with, and have a look. That one's got dots in it, that one doesn't. That's got dots, that's got dots, that one doesn't. Okay, so what you can learn from this is that this particular panel here is going to represent all 4 of the outside panels. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the inside panel here is this particular one here. This is a trick you'll see used extensively throughout the Tabletop Simulator textures. They often use repeated sections of the 2D texture file here to save upload space and probably construction time as well. For my purposes though, it's usually highly annoying because I want to do cool tricks like make each of these different. Maybe put cool pictures over there, such as the TIE Fighter over here. Sane has got different Japanese kimono sections, and unfortunately they had to be mirrored. But you know what? It's pretty damn good for a cheap program like this. And at a later date, I'll figure out how to export my own UV maps, and we'll be fine. Okay, so let's put a cog there and do a bit of steel effects. So first of all, let's go find our cog. Let's see. So on a white Imperial Empire logo, Star Wars, white. Okay, images. Let's go. That looks white. Let's go copy image. Okay, and let's go edit, paste this new layer. New layer. Cool. That's a little large. Okay, first of all, we want to get rid of the black, so we're going to use the fuzzy select tool. Is that what it's called? Alright, and we'll just trim all this extra garbage away that we don't need. Hopefully that is transparent. Great. Okay, next we want to shrink this down to approximately the size of the interceptor panel it's going to go on. So we go layer, scale layer, and let's see. I don't know. Change this to %, and we want to go probably about 1/5. So let's say 20%. That's not 20. That's numlock. Oh dear. I think I hit the insert button. Okay, scale 20% does look about right on. Let's drag it over. See how we went? Oh, so close. Just a touch too big. So Control Z, Control Z again. It's very important when you do scale things that you scale from the original one. If I was to go 20% here, scale, then go another 9% off of it, I would get warping. So 20% was too big. Let's try 18. I think 18 is what I use for the strikers actually. Looks like it's spot on. Look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Alright, so let's do a little bit of wear and tear to that. We'll paint it very dark, very light grey. That should cover everything. Why doesn't it like that? Okay, cool. Alright, so now if I get the eraser tool, the burn tool, let's just go to town on it. Make it a bit more sooty. Now I'm doing from left to right here to give the illusion that things are scraping past it. If I was to go up and down, it would look that is, just not as realistic, because the interceptor is going forwards most of the time. It's not going to be getting scorch marks going diagonally unless it's being shot at. But again, tell your story. Don't have to do mine. Let's get a little bit of eraser, just sort of chip away a bit here. A bit large to make it look cool. There we go. Yeah, that looks alright. That looks pretty cool. Alright. And let's go back to make it a bit brighter. Okay, so that makes it brighter. I probably want a smaller one. No, that's opacity. Alright, so I'm going to just make the edge, the inside of this a little bit brighter to give the illusion that it is clean. There we go, that looks wild. Okay, so that's going to appear on there, no problem. Alright, we're going to drop that down to the same layer. Actually, no, I'll leave it. Let's get a new layer. What do I want to do now? Now I want to give this whole thing a more darker steel. So I'm going to copy, Control A, Control C, the layer I made previously. Very good. Oh, I can't address the layer changes. I forgot. Because it's Camtasia, I can't move these around. Maybe we can do that. Okay, Control A, Control C, Control V. There we go. Alright, so that has... okay, that's not going to work either. Because if I do changes to this... Oh yes, I can figure this out. No, I can't. It's impossible. Let's hide that layer, and I'll just edit this one. So what you would do, actually, if you were doing it, you would modify this layer, and then drop the layer down below your markings. But because I can't do that, I'm going to use this one. And we're going to hide these other layers so that I'm not distracted by them. Okay, so what you want to do is get the burn tool. I nearly forgot. So what I want to do is I want to make all the steel here several tones darker to bring out the really cool effects that whoever designed this made. But I don't want these panels to get too dark or you won't be able to see them. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a copy of these panels. But if I do that, I won't be able to select the markings. I think what I have to do is select everything that's not a panel. So let's do that. Let's start by selecting. So in order to deselect everything that's not a panel, we have to first select everything that is a panel. Hold down Shift when you're using the lasso tool. It's okay not to be perfect on this one, but the closer you can get it, the better. You see there's actually some minor distortion in the model here. That's probably just because the person who made it had a whole bunch of models to do at the same time. And considering the quality of the models, I'm You don't notice that until you're neck deep in the model yourself. Okay, where are we up to? Gotta do that one. That's it. Cool. Ugh. And the last one. Okay, so in actual fact what I should do is modify these now and then do the rest of the stuff. Okay, so to make them look interesting, we're going to get the burn tool, make it huge, so I have to click over stuff multiple times, hold down control. I'm just going to do one or two, actually one's probably good enough. Yep, alright, cool. Alright, now we're going to go edit, select, invert. Okay, so now we're actually going to work on everything else in the model that's not these things. I need to be very careful not to go over that, which is a lie. We'll just do everything. So we're going to make this steel darker. How much darker? 1. Do another press. 2, 3, 4, 5. 5's probably enough. What does 6 look like? Let's quickly turn these back on and see how the contrast is going to look. I think 6 is about right on the mark. Cool. Alright. Next, let's get the burn tool and reduce the size down to tiny. Probably 5 or 6 will do. And we're going to go in and just brighten up parts of the steel here. They'll take forever, so let's cheat and make it larger and just cheat a bit because you want to see the end result as much as I do. Okay, clicking multiple times will make it brighter, of course. I think that's the inside of the wing, so I probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well, and this is the outside. There we go. Oh, I've got to do that. That's cool. This is the cockpit, the top part of this roof, by the way. If you're going to change the glass for the TIE Fighter, you do these strips as well. Otherwise, it's terrible. That's the bottom. These are the guns. I'm not going to mess with them. So we're just going to sort of randomly almost do this to make it look more interesting. Okay, and we go. Oh, I forgot to do that one. Oh no. Despair. Okay, that's probably it. Okay, last thing we need to do is, you may have noticed I went over that section, I wasn't meant to. So we're going to delete this particular layer to reduce the error there. And I think we'll probably call that done. So let's put our last chord markings back on. I think that's everything. Cool. Alright, let's see how it looks. Let's go File, Export As. Let's get this one, Export 02. Yes, I want to replace it. Very good. Okay. Sometimes the model will be locked and you can't modify it. You need to mouse over and click L. Right click, custom. Let's go find 002. Call it 02? I think I called it 02. 02. As you can see, I've done a few of these now. I probably should clean up this directory, but I won't. Alright, that's looking pretty amazing. Let's see. So if I had more time, I'd do more work to this steel, and I'd use the smaller burn tool to get a more of a polished effect, or a more shiny effect these have, as you can see. Vader looks pretty good. Where are the TIE Advanced V1s? As you can see, if you've got more time, you can do all kinds of cool effects, like add multiple layers of steel poking through, do a lot of damage to the decals to make it look cool, or actually add on cool stuff. Or if you're really cool and you're the leader of your own podcast, you can ask me to put your dude in your ship. There is Chris Allen. Hi, friend. Chad Chris Allen with his waifu Tifa. Good to go. Don't forget to put a no step on your ship so that people know that they shouldn't step on Sneck. And that's basically it. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to do is put the glass on that TIE interceptor so that people can fly it. So let's go back to the... That's not it. Yes, it is. let's open up what I've done previously. Open. Let's see. So that, what glass canopy is that? That is a TIE fighter. I think Sane has that. No, Vader will do it just as well, I think. Alright, perfect. But I want to use my XF. XCF, where is XCF? There it is. Practice. That's this one here. Oh, that's my previous one before I blew it up. Scimitar doesn't have glass in the front, so that's no good. Vader 05, perfect. Alright, let's get Vader. Okay, so I want that's that. Okay, so this is actually the worst one to use because it doesn't have a separate canopy. Cool. Good job, Chris. Let's try another one. Vader redraw. As you can see, I planned this well in advance. Oh, this looks more hopeful. No, that's the logo. That's the logo there. That's a stripe. Oh, I think that red thin stripe's probably better. Aha! I'm going to copy that layer and paste it in here. And use the drag tool to make sure it goes in the right spot. Excellent. Let's go back to Vader. And now I need to grab the canopy. No, that's the engines. That's the glass. That one there. Control A, Control C. Why do I feel like that didn't work? Let's find out. Alright. Now, interesting, on the Interceptor and the other TIE fighters as well, for some reason, in some cases, the top of the glass is here, and some cases the top of the glass is there. So in this case, it's down there. I need to rotate the layer. Turn the layer. Transform. Rotate clockwise. Yes. And then drop that approximately where it needs to go. Yeah. Alright. Let's save this. I'll save as practice. Actually, no, this is the finished one. Alpha Squadron. Pilot. Very good. That's how I'll paint it. I'll save it in my actual painting directory so I can later go back here and fix up the steel to make it look more cool, as I would normally. And file export as 03. Actually, we learned this before. 001. Okay. You should have a better naming convention than I have. This is purely for demonstration purposes only, right? Wink. Okay, so we're gonna. Hey, you can see that the base here is burnt. That is because why? It looks like the. See how that blue there is the same color as my blue here? That means that my image is getting a sample from a section that is incorrect color. So let's more carefully delete the blue here. Now, it's not a deal breaker if I can't fix that. I'll show you why in a second, but we should avoid unnecessary work where possible. At least that's how I've lived my life. Don't let me tell you how to live yours. Live free. Alright, this is what you paid the big bucks for. Watching me lose my mind over tiny pixels. Yeah, there we go. Yes, it's glorious. Did I just delete the ship then? No, we're fine. This is fine, everything's fine. How are you? That deleted the ship. Try not to delete the ship you're working on. It will have a negative effect on the appearance at the end. Gosh, I'm so funny. I should write my own comedy. The tragedy of... Probably shouldn't give out my real name on the internet. In fact, I better edit that out because I don't trust any of you. Alright, let's do that. File, export as 001, very good, export, yes, replace, yes, export. So many questions. Alright, custom 001, I think. Okay, now this time it's the final one. We're going to go cloud. We need to wait for this upload. We've got to wait for this little thing to finish spinning around. Bing, and then we go import. Alright, beautiful, isn't it? Okay, so we got the cool cockpit effect on the canopy. If I can actually get there. It's a little bit off-centered. I should fix that, but I'm not going to because I'm going to call the video here. Okay, so now we can use that in the game. Now, in order to get that to your friends, to be able to spawn it, we're going to go right-click, custom. That's not it. We're going to go right-click, save object, and give this a cool name such as I don't know, 501st Alpha Squadron Pilot. Save. Great. Okay, and now I can access that by going saved objects. 501 Alpha Squadron Pilot. Where did it go? There it is. It was right in front of me the whole time. And I can have a vast legion of them ready to crush the pathetic rebellion. Now, speaking of crushing the pathetic rebellion, let's delete all these guys. L. Now, you want to have these guys to be able to use in your game. Let's go over to Yazb. That one? Yes. Yazb. In order now, I'm going to show you why this is a problem, and you will go, great, thanks for showing me how to fix it. Let's say we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We better have Signature in there. 5. There we go. Cool. Look at that Chad list. Obstacles for the week. Let's go for TTS. Okay. Control A, Control C. Okay. Now, if I was going to use the TTS spawner right now and spawn this list, and you go, I want to replace these common or garden variety Alpha Squadrons that are clearly not representative of my great awesomeness. Final one. You go, you look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4, and go, I'll assign dials to them. 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a problem. The ship base has not changed color to match the pilot card or dial, which means that your stream opponent and stream viewers will scream and call you bad things. To get around this, we have to do a little bit extra step. So let's banish them back from whence they came. Alright, we're going to use TTS spawner again, and we're going to put our list in here like so, and we're going to go spawn as disk. Now we have a disk. Let's move that somewhere helpful and click spawn. Okay. So now we have our ships again, but this time we're going to do a cool trick. So, when you do this for every single one of them, let's go find 001. Cloud, upload, import, cancel. The cancel is important. If you hit upload, it will apply the skin to all of these ships, but it will not save them, which means that when you go to use them in real life, they'll immediately break. Okay, and then we can assign this dial. And now the ship base color has changed to the dial we want. Now let's say I don't want yellow because I'm racist against yellow things, and I want to have, I don't know, pink, because pink is a good sign of Imperial might. Now if I change the color of the ship, it will work as planned. Import, cancel. Alright, and you see it's pink. So let's quickly go ahead and do that for all of these and show you the last step. 001 cloud, upload, import, cancel, nearly done, custom, that, 001, select, cloud, upload, import, done. Alright, the last step we need to do is to actually save these ships, is to drag the ship, lock, onto the disk. Bip, and now that squadron paint job has been saved. I'll do it for every single one of them. 2, 3, 4. Good job. Let's save this disk. Right click on it and go save object. New meta, obviously. And then just to prove it works, let's delete all these guys. Be gone, filth. Objects, saved objects, new. There we go. And now, if I hit spawn, we should see all my ships appear with a different color scheme, and more importantly, the pilot card is matching the ship. Okay, and this thus concludes the tutorial. There's always one, isn't there? I must have missed one. Alright. So this also goes to show you should test your things out before throwing them against your opponent. Upload before doing it live on stream also helps. Okay. Alright, let's try now. Yes, we're good. Allegedly. Let me just test this out. So delete all of them. Delete. I should be able to spawn that now. And the paint job stuck. Great. Alright, so we go save object. The newer meta. Alright. This time, when I get rid of them, object, save object, newer meta. Alright, the new far superior list that will be crushing the other one. And we did it, the dream. We're now ready to go there and destroy everyone's dreams. Although Soontir apparently is missing out on his cog there, so the next thing I do is go and make Soontir to match these other far more handsome ones. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please don't, actually, you know what? Go out, go mad, have fun. Looking forward to seeing wild color schemes in a stream sometime soon. Take care and be well.